You're watching Beyond Your Backyard Now with Erik The Travel Guy for Monday, May 18, 2020.
Yes. Thank you, Aaron Sega. The program back on the air once again. I am Erik The Travel Guy. We have gotten a little older since we last spoke together. My hair has gotten a little longer, as I'm sure yours has. My gosh, we've got a lot going on up here. I'm going to run out of Brill cream soon. The promise of tomorrow's travel is on the horizon. We're all just not quite sure when that tomorrow is going to take place, but we're in this together, so here we go. We know that the unofficial start of summer is this weekend. The sun is out, the birds are chirping, it's going to be Memorial Day weekend. What does that mean for you? Well, on today's show, we're going to get an update on which beaches will be open on the New Jersey shore. There haven't been a whole lot of good headlines coming out of the travel and tourism industry this week, as I'm sure you can imagine. Of course, we're not making light of that. At the same time, you may not be aware that we actually present what good travel news there is to report. We do that every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you missed that earlier today, you can go back and watch it on my YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe while you're there. That does help. And in addition to this program that we do every Monday at 4 o'clock, we also release new travel videos every day at noon and 4 p.m. Eastern. And in case you've never seen the program before, you know, we're all about where to go, what to do, and where to stay, and how to do it safely on your next vacation, all within the vacation ecosystem. And if you're unfamiliar with that term, well, more good news for you. We made an entire video about that. So we've got a lot for you to watch this week. Hopefully you'll stay here and watch this program as well. Let it be a proverbial light in the sea of darkness that we're all experiencing together, I might add. Later on in the program, here's what we're going to do. We actually are going to visit with a presenter from a program called Seeing Canada on PBS. She's a phenomenal journalist and has a lot to say about seeing our neighbors to the north. We're also going to do a little bourbon tasting on today's program, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll get that update from the Jersey Shore. I mentioned that earlier, so we'll tell you which beaches are going to be open for this holiday weekend and into the summer. And we're going to swim with humpback whales. So yes, we're going to fill up the studio here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. In the meantime, we're going to get started with the most visited national park in the United States. You may be surprised to find out how close it is to us. So I'm going to take a seat at the desk while we all take a look at this.
The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most visited national park in the United States. Each year, more than 9 million visitors immerse themselves in cool, crisp mountain breezes and unbelievable vistas. Part of the Appalachian Mountain Range, it's hard to miss the Smokies along the Tennessee-North Carolina border. The name Smoky comes from the natural fog that often hangs over the range and appears as large smoke plumes from a distance. Native Americans have likely been hunting in the Great Smoky Mountains for more than 14,000 years. The national park officially opened in 1934, and in 2006, the Great Smoky Mountains Heritage Center opened in Townsend, Tennessee. Whitewater rafting, tubing, and Dollywood are all popular attractions during most of the year. And at night, treat your family to a view of the stars in this serene and unique American destination known simply as the Smokies.
Our thanks to the National Park Service for helping us out with some of that footage. The Great Smoky Mountains, still one of my favorite places to visit in the United States. You're watching Beyond Your Backyard now. Let's hit the open road, everybody. Lori Pepinella is the CEO from the Southern Ocean County Chamber of Commerce. She's here specifically to help us out with what beaches will be open beginning this weekend and what we can expect to find there. Lori, it appears as though we have found you at your house.
An undisclosed location. So close to the beach I could hear it, but yet so far away. But I am happy to be here and glad you are looking so well.
Oh, well, you're very kind. You the feeling is mutual, my friend. You know, I wanted to talk with you this week because, again, I guess even your presence here on this program is a good sign. If you think about it, You know, we
Yes.
wouldn't have talked together a month ago because we would said, we don't know. We have no idea
Yeah.
where this is going to go. Now we're starting to say, okay, Governor Murphy here in the state of New Jersey saying, okay, we've got some plans coming into focus. What does that
Yes.
mean for the Jersey Shore, including Long Beach Island?
Yes. Well, you know, we've been very excited about the summer. As you can imagine, we are a resort area. The Jersey Shore is almost 130 miles. I represent about 20 miles of it. I have from, you know, not only Long Beach Island, but the Pinelands as well. So both land and sea.
Got it.
And this is a very important time for all the businesses that operate here, because we have families coming together. We have people looking to get away. With COVID-19 restrictions, we understand that people have had a little bit of anxiety. They're looking to travel within their comfort zone, maybe not too far from home. And we are so close to major metropolitan areas that, you know, we are a natural destination.
There are plenty of hotel rooms down there, but you guys really are a vacation rental destination as well, if not more so than just a standard hotel that maybe some of us are a little intrepidatious to stay in a hotel, although I'm not sure why.
I think that's going to be my chamber's hashtag, social distancing since 1914. Maybe that might be the good way to start. But yes,
You heard it here first.
Long Beach Island has been, it's comprised, or beach and bay areas are comprised of 6 different municipalities. There's not a boardwalk or a major hub. Every single town has their own individuality, their own beach badge, their own, you know, restaurants and little strips of activity. So you've never gotten that critical mass that you would get from, you know, major amusement park areas or boardwalk or, you know, beaches with the big pavilions. So it's always been a little bit more intimate where we are. And of course, you know, not only is it the barrier island, but it's also protected pinelands on the mainland. So you have campgrounds, you have inns, you have places to canoe and bike and hike.
I think about my experiences there. What will be different this summer?
Well, this summer, obviously, there will be COVID restrictions in place, and social distancing we are taking, you know, very seriously. We want people to feel comfortable. So we're really all about the hospitality. We have a lot of shops that now, non-essential businesses, are open. They have online stores. They have attendees that can, you know, pick up the phone. What do you need? We'll put together, you know, packages, gift baskets. You're coming down to the shore, you need to have some essentials. We'll have those ready for you. So our main website is visitlbiregion.com. And that has basically a portal to what you can expect during the restrictions and also as they lift.
When you say businesses, you really are talking about mom and pop shops, and mom and pop shops that have been there, some for generations. So
Yes.
When we start talking about the economy, you know, look at LBI and look at this county and look at this part of the country, because you are directly putting money into those businesses, into those communities.
Yeah, we're talking about legacy businesses and also legacy community organizations like museums and theaters and things that really are, you know, not on the radar for the big scale corporate backers, but really do have, you know, the individual resident and consumer, you know, contributing to them. 106 years, there is a fabric of our business community that is all about hospitality. It is all about welcoming. What we do to prepare for a summer season, but we are here where, you know, nothing is as soothing as going to the ocean, you know, feeling that, you know, the sun, the sand, hearing people laugh, hearing birds and, you know, waves. And I think people need that.
Well, it sounds to me like there's a lot of positive news from down there, and I love that.
We keep it positive. Because, you know, we are in a place in history that definitely is epic times, but, you know, we do have a lot of previous stories that we can share that were just as challenging. And certainly, you know, some of these businesses, and including my own, our chamber, have been there, you know, since before World War I, to kind of, you know, so we've seen it, and we know that health is everybody's safety, and health is our number one issue. And our businesses and our local elected officials, and from the state, the county, all the way to the different towns, they have everyone's best interest in mind. They're not looking to pack people in, and they're looking for people to come down, get what they need, get refreshed, and you just have a little bit of summer. I think it's time to reclaim the summer, because so many people have told us, oh, this isn't good. But you know what? There is space in everybody's life to just kind of, once those restrictions allow you and you feel comfortable, there are places that are welcoming you, and we're one of them.
And that was your short answer.
Was there a question?
I love about you, Lori. You're the best. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric.
Ooh, we gotta get the sunscreen. We've got to get new sunglasses. We've got to get new beach towels. Speaking of things to buy, we have a new sponsor here on Beyond Your Backyard Now. I don't know how this is going to go, but we agreed to run it, so have a look.
Hi, I'm Tyler Humboldt. Has the travel bug bit you, but you can't scratch that itch? Boy, have I got a product for you. Be whisked away to the getaway of your dreams with the Personal Vacation Viewcaster 2020. Want to see Australia? Click. How about Shanghai? Just let it fly. No destination in the galaxy is off limits.
This morning with the Personal Vacation Viewcaster 2020, I went to Hawaii, Detroit, and Mars, and then I had time to do my whites. The Taj Mahal.
New Jersey.
Got someone special you're locked down with? Do they like going places? Well, if they wash their hands first, you can show them the world.
Paris for my birthday? Baby remembered.
You might think that this antique ticket to the world would cost a fortune. Not so. You can take home this little slice of freedom for just 18 monthly payments of $23.95. See us online at See the World Now with the Personal Vacation Viewcaster 2020.com. Do it today, because you ain't going anywhere tomorrow.
Now, see, I would buy that. I would buy that product. I like that guy. Seems like he knows what he's doing. I like his hair. It seems a little shorter than mine. Let's get to the question of the day here, or the question of the week, however you want to slice it. What month are you likely to get on an airplane again? That's a good question. We're certainly seeing a lot of headlines about the airline industry these days. You can leave your comments in the comments section of our YouTube channel. Brandy Yanchik is here. She is a journalist and host of the very popular series on PBS and on Amazon Prime, Seeing Canada. She's got a new series as well, and she's on the Zoom. Brandy, I find it funny that we are meeting for the first time on Zoom.
It is very, very bizarre. But, I think a lot of us are getting used to these Zoom meetings. Even last night, I joined a British Columbia wine event on Zoom with the winemaker. And it's just, everybody's having to adapt right now.
Absolutely. Now, you do two shows. A lot of people will know about your first show that you did, which, Seeing Canada, and you're adding a second show, Seeing the USA. Now, you're kind of stepping into my territory here, Brandy. I'm getting a little territorial a little bit.
I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to give my viewers who like my personality and that kind of thing an opportunity to explore the United States with me. Yeah. And some of the things that I do in the United States is I always try to have an Indigenous or Native American component in each one of my episodes, which I found to be something that viewers really like. My show is also really hands-on, so I'm, getting involved with stuff, making stuff. And because of COVID-19 right now, a lot of people are thinking about staycations. And my Seeing the USA series gives people the opportunity to do things like visit a bakery and do things that you can do in those states without having to get on an airplane and that kind of stuff. So
I think one of the things that people find out when they start to really explore this country, Canada, is that there's a lot of space and there's a lot to see and do without leaving your home country, or perhaps just visiting Canada or US, whichever is appropriate, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and I'm going to blow your mind with a fact, okay?
Oh,
And
here
every
we
time
go.
I tell people this fact, they go, I cannot believe it. So imagine Canada. It is the second largest country in the world after Russia. Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
We have the same or similar population to California. When you think about that,
Yeah.
that all those people in California are in the second largest country in the world, in Canada, you realize how much space is in Canada and how enormous it is. So we've been doing social distancing for a while here, Eric. For some of us in the cities, it's something new.
You're
but
right.
there's people who live in remote communities who don't see people that much.
Well, and I wanted to ask you that too, because again, of course, we're talking about these shows that are on PBS, they're on Create, they're on Amazon Prime, and that's great. They were getting them out. But long before these shows existed, you've been making documentaries. I think I read a stat that you made, more than 13 or 14 or 15 full-length documentaries in various subject matter. But again, you're no stranger to getting out there and really learning these stories for yourself and presenting them, which isn't that what travel is all about?
Yes, I started my career as a reporter for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and then I moved to England and I worked for the BBC, made my first documentary there, and then I came back to Canada, where I'm from, and I started making more documentaries, and then started working for the BBC's travel show as one of their reporters, mostly covering Canada, did some stuff in New Zealand and Australia and Finland. But then I had such an appetite for travel after I had a taste of it that I talked to my distributor and said, hey, how do you feel about me putting together a travel show called Seeing Canada? And I did that in 2017. I've made 12 episodes. And that show was awesome because I had an opportunity to visit every province and territory at least twice. And not a lot of Canadians can actually say they've been to all those places, right?
And back to the big space. I mean, but what would have been some of those destinations that left that mark on you?
Wow. So for me, I think the remote destinations where you get in a float plane, where you get into a helicopter and you get to see the views, but you also get to go to these communities. When I traveled to Nunavut, which is a territory in northern Arctic, we took a Arctic safari cruise. There was only about 100 people on it, and we went through the Northwest Passage, which is melting, so we could get through, and we were able to visit Inuit communities. Some people may not be familiar with the word Inuit. It used to be Eskimo, but that's not politically correct. We say Inuit. And basically, going to those communities and meeting these incredible people, the Inuit, I felt like it was a dream come true because I had read about them my whole life in school. And also there's all these, beautiful stories and fairy tales and all this stuff. And you actually get to see people who make igloos. I mean, they don't live in igloos, but they still learn about that from their family and ancestors. So I would say Nunavut, going through the Northwest Passage. I think another focus of Seeing Canada is my Indigenous content. So I'm always trying to visit Indigenous communities and learn about them. I'm getting a chance to meet cultures and people that, I could only dream of if I wasn't actually doing the show, right?
Yeah.
The show gives you a really amazing opportunity to meet people you just wouldn't normally have a chance to meet.
What advice would you give people that are right now going, how do I include travel in the near future and the distant future?
I think that you should be thinking about open spaces, thinking about national parks, state parks, provincial parks, places where there's a lot of space that you can do things with your family, even kicking a ball around, whatever it is that you're allowed to do. Go to those places, try to get out into nature where you're not crammed inside. That's what I would want to do right now. I think also think about your local economy. They're probably suffering right now and would really appreciate for you to, buy products from there, or instead of flying somewhere, just do a staycation this summer, drive to the state next to you or 2 states over.
Yeah.
But I think about healthcare, insurance, all that kind of stuff, and how much you want to go on an airplane, that's up to you. But you don't have to go on an airplane right now.
No, you don't. Brandy, thank you for this. It's really good to meet you. I love the show. We love the show. So will you come back and visit with us?
I will. I can't wait. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It is absolutely our pleasure. Well, here's something you may not know about me, and it's absolutely pointless and useless to know it, but I'm more of a vodka guy. If I drink hard liquor, I tend to like wine more than anything else, but vodka is sort of my thing. However, earlier on I said we're going to do a bourbon tasting. We're not. We're actually doing a whiskey tasting. So here we go. This is from Rocktown Distillery. On a recent episode of Beyond Your Backyard, we dropped by to learn more about this place here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And Phil Brandon is the one we were talking with. He is the founder and head distiller there. And I started my line of questioning about, well, brown liquor. I would love to empower someone watching today going, you know what? The brown liquor, I'm not quite sure what to do. It's very fashionable.
Yes.
It's delicious, but there are a lot of options out there. What do I do? So can we do a little bit of this is all whiskey we're talking about, if I understand it, right?
Yeah.
But where does rye come in? Where does bourbon come in?
Right.
This is where I get confused immediately. Yeah. Help us out here.
Whiskey is the category, where bourbon is the type.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. So bourbon is a type of whiskey.
Okay.
Rye is a type of whiskey. Scotch is a type of whiskey. Irish is a type of whiskey. And then there's definitions below those types. For a whiskey to be a bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn, aged in a new charred oak barrel, and made in the United States of America. So it's protected for the United States. But if you do those three basic things, there's some technical things, but those three basic things, you can call your whiskey a bourbon whiskey.
And did I get this straight here at Rocktown? All of these ingredients are from the state of Arkansas.
Right, so we're very proud to be from Arkansas, and we try to source everything locally. I think it's very important to support our local farmers, our local box makers, our local glass makers. So our corn, our wheat, our rye are all sourced from within 125 miles of the distillery. So I know the farmers that grow the grain, we bring it here, make the whiskey. So, you know, it's all about knowing where your stuff's coming from.
That's cool. From what I understand, we make this sour mash, and we pull the alcohol out of it, and what's left, you send right back to the farmer.
That's right, yeah. So the spent mash, or what we call stillage, goes back to the farmer and he feeds his cows.
Those are some happy cows.
Yes, absolutely. There's a little bit of alcohol left.
Just a little.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You know.
How much art versus science, how does this all work together?
Taste is an artful thing. And so we try every batch, we taste everything, and to me that's the art. And the science is, you know, what is the chemistry that produces flavors?
Got it.
How do we make those flavors? And, you know, what are the metabolic pathways to create those?
Not only can you come here, obviously beautiful place, people are having a good time, but you can also take a tour here. Because everything is done here.
So we take you through the whole process from distilling, where we mill the grain, we cook the grain, we ferment the grain, we distill the grain, and then we age the distillate in the barrel house to become a whiskey, and then we dump the barrels and then bottle it right here. So it's from grain to glass right here.
Right here in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Phil, thank you for this.
Eric,
I have to get back to the bar. Hello again, Erik the Travel Guy with you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really does make a difference, and you may want to share this video as well, because you're about to meet Kristen Addis. She is behind the website BeMyTravelMuse.com. Kristen, it's good to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, now if I understand this correctly, we are zooming out to Reno, Nevada, where you normally don't spend a lot of time. Is that right?
That's right. And I moved here in May. I used to live in Berlin, and it's my new home base, but now I get a chance to explore it. So that's cool.
This is going to be perfect. You can have a gambling habit. Surely you can get that underway, at least in the next 4 months. Reno's a really cool little town. You just have to show up to figure it out, isn't that kind of true?
It's beautiful. Lake Tahoe's right there. There's all these pine trees, so much hiking. So there's a lot more to it than the casinos.
Yeah. And you do have the casino. Like, what's funny about casinos is everybody thinks casino, right? It's like, first of all, 90-year-old women hitting the one arm. And And there is that. I'll give you that. But with casino infrastructure comes culinary, comes wine, comes shopping, hotel rooms. I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure and a lot of good that comes with it. First of all, why did you decide this is the gig that you want to have?
I was working in finance. It was really not for me. I decided that I was going to quit. And my hope was that I could get a book deal or maybe some other freelance writing from starting my travel blog. Then the travel influencer industry was born. And so I was in a good position at that point to turn more into a full range of photography, video, and blogging. And I just felt like there was no reason not to take a chance when I knew I didn't like the job I did have. So, I mean, what is it really a life if you don't enjoy what takes up most of every day?
But it is a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, it is. It's a tremendous amount of work. But again, if you really like if you love what you're doing, you will do it anyway, won't you?
What was the biggest thing that you learned almost immediately after doing this for a living?
That it's possible. The first step is believing what you want is attainable. So for me, when I first started, I mean, I took off to Bangkok 8 years ago with only a carry-on backpack, one-way ticket by myself, no plan. And the journey just unfolded in the most beautiful, organic, serendipitous way. And I think through that, I learned to trust in the journey, to know that I wouldn't know what's coming.
Under normal circumstances, what advice do you give to people on how to plan a vacation that's meaningful to them?
Well, first, I mean, I sort of have a system for planning my trips. First of all, the most important sacred information I could get is from someone who seems to me to have similar taste to mine. So if I am in a beautiful place that's just blowing my mind and I meet somebody there and they say, you know what else you would really like? XYZ destination. That jumps to the top of my list. That's how I discovered for myself Mozambique in Southern Africa. And so that, you always meet people who can give you really good suggestions. So that's number one. Number two, I would look at whatever photos catch your eye on social media. There are some real benefits to having all of that at your fingertips. And then that can just lead you in such a fun direction. And then I usually hop on Google at that point and start doing my research, looking for websites that are similar to mine that can give me a bunch of really good free advice from someone who's been there and experienced it firsthand. And then that helps me sort of get some inspiration. But the best thing that I can do for my experiences is try to leave as much room for serendipity as possible, because you learn so much when you're on the ground, and also to move slowly, to not try to see too much at once, because then you see too little of everything.
If you're going on a vacation personally and your only goal is to take a bunch of pictures and videos, well, then you're going to experience that place differently than when you truly feel it and be present for it. All right, do you know where you're going next or no?
I hope to go to French Polynesia in September. That's when the humpback whales come up to do their calving, and you can jump in the water and swim with them. So I've done that twice already. I love free diving, and especially with a whale, it's crazy. So my plan is to go back. I'm bringing 16 women with me on one of my adventure tours, which I also run.
Weren't you terrified to swim with these animals that are this big?
They are incredibly self-aware and gentle. And the amazing thing is they consent to doing it. I mean, they can swim away so easily, and sometimes they do, but other times they will be super curious and they'll be swimming with us for hours. And it's really lovely to make eye contact with them because they really know what's going on.
Their eye is the size of like a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, they're big.
And I would imagine that would be a very humbling experience to go and swim with them.
That is the word I would ascribe to it. Absolutely humbling.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we have to talk more about this. We have to talk about the trips now. It's not good enough. Now you were going by yourself. Now you're carting around 18 people with you, or 16, or whatever the case. That's a whole other. Will you come back and visit with us?
That would be my pleasure. Anytime.
That's BeMyTravelMuse.com is the website. My thanks to Kristen. My thanks to all the guests this week. To the travel team, you guys are doing an amazing job. And thank you to you for watching. That's it. Show's over. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next week.
It's ready.
Fake writing.
Yes, it's ready. Got it all prepared, it's finished. It's stunning, yes, it's great, it's oh so ready. So just let it all begin.